Hello, I'm Landon, and you're watching Humans Anonymous, episode 26. Thank you for watching or listening, wherever you are watching or listening. We have a hot one for you today. I'm very excited about this one. Real quick, before I get into things too much, please, if you guys like the content we're putting out, if you want to get a hold of us, anything, go to www.MWAH.net. And so I'm here, one of the two, MWAH.net. To check out some more information on our troop, or some more content. Blah 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 blah. Sorry, I'm excited about this episode, guys. We got a hot one for you. I had the opportunity to speak to a Division I football player, and I'll kind of leave it at that. You'll see as we get into the episode what makes this individual so special. What a tough individual with a mindset like none I've ever talked to before. The setbacks that he has faced, whether he sees them or not, the people around him see how much he has overcome. And very excited to be able to share a little bit of his story with you guys and a little bit of how he deals with things mentally. So without further ado, let's get to the episode. So when I was 21 years old, I crashed a motorcycle and shattered my left wrist. And for about a month, I wasn't able to use my left arm. And I thought that my life was over. My left. Now I'm right-handed, right? Mm-hmm. So for a month or two, I had people waiting on me, hand and foot, because I was laid up with this one arm. Well, today we are going to get to meet and talk to somebody who not only was never given the opportunity to have a hand, but hasn't really let it slow him down at all. In fact, what he's doing right now is pretty fast-paced. We're going to get to chat with Division I football player Albert Kunickis, who is himself a single amputee. Is that how we say it?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I was just born with a congenital limb indifference, I guess, Yes, sir.
Right. So you're missing your right hand and a forearm, correct?
Hand. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I guess getting right into this, I had the opportunity to chat with your mom kind of about you growing up and everything. And it sounds like from what I'm hearing, you've never really let, I don't even know if you would call it a disability, but you've never really let that slow you down, have you?
No, sir. No, from day one, my parents taught me to just honestly act like my peers, like do everything the same as my peers and just try not to let my arm get in the way of that. So, yeah.
Right. That's awesome, man. And so I'm sure that you get bored down with questions about the physicality of that and about, how do you play football? And I will just say I watched a highlight of you playing, man. And it was a play where your quarterback threw you a lateral pass. Mm-hmm. He threw a pass to you. You caught it with one hand and tucked it under your armpit of your short arm, and then stiff-armed two guys as you were running down the field. And I believe you ran it for a touchdown. But I was just blown away by the physicality of that. And that just spoke volumes to me that to you, it probably isn't even a thing anymore, is it?
Nah, it's just second nature, Practice it a lot in my backyard and everything.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I bet. And how old are you?
I'm 19 right now.
19 years old. So 19 years of life, and you've never known it with that hand. And so, to kind of weed through all the questions that you've heard before, obviously that's kind of where you're at. It's like, it was like not watching watching you play football is like watching anybody else play football. And it kind of blew my mind. I had to watch, especially that clip. I had to watch it over and over again because I'm like, was he tucking it with his short arm? Like, it was just incredible. And so as far as the physicality goes, obviously that has never slowed you down. What is it like being a D1 athlete? Because obviously you had an injury freshman year, correct, that set you back, and you've just been hustling in the off season, grinding. What are you doing? What is a D1 athlete doing during the summer? Are you still out there at Northwestern?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we're here for the entire summer. We don't really get too much of a break, of course. We have lifts and runs every morning, workouts every morning, pretty early in the morning, and then afternoons kind of usually filled with either some sort of recovery or if you're enrolled in a class, which I am, class, and then you kind of just alternate between studying class, studying the playbook, and kind of getting ready for the next day.
So you're studying in the off season,
Yeah,
getting
for
some
sure.
credits in, getting some knowledge of the
Yeah,
game in. Man, that's incredible. Is
sure.
that like kind of very typical of all the athletes there?
Yeah, so we need to be in one class over the summer at least, 1 to 2, and you need to be in one to be
Does that
like,
make the schedule during the season a little bit lighter?
yes, sir. Yeah, takes a little bit of the load off
Okay,
during the season.
sweet. So like I'm guessing just during breaks then is when you guys are off campus, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, like spring break, winter
So
break if we get one,
it
etc.
right, right. So it's pretty much like almost turning into a full-time job for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you find it tiring a lot?
Mentally, sometimes you can kind of get into a little bit of a fog, but I mean, when you kind of just sit back and think about where you are and what it took to get here, you kind of just refocus. You know what I mean? And you kind of just get right back to the normal mentality, which is attack, attack, attack. So
So how does Albert Kunickis kind of refocus?
I
Like,
would,
obviously, you said kinda sitting back and remembering where you're at and all the work, but, like, is there something that you do, some sorta hobby outside of football, something that you like to do to unwind?
yeah.
Maybe you're
So
a video game nerd or maybe you play chess, I don't know.
yes, I mean, I'm not too far from home, so I like to go home sometimes when I can, and that kind of gets me to reset. Seeing the family, seeing the old high school field, some of my buddies that are from my old hometown, etc. And that kind of gets me like just, I guess, refocused. You know what I mean? And then I play a little bit of video games here and
Yeah.
there. A little bit of I like to play
I would
bass.
say that the connection of family, at least for me, has been one of those things that through even tough times I've been going through, it tends to recharge your battery a lot more than most other things. I think that connections with really good friends are obviously necessary, but I think that there's nothing like you being so close to home, being able to just drive over and see the family. I know you've got siblings, right? Are you the oldest?
Yes, sir. I'm the oldest. My brother's going. He's a senior in high
And you've
school
got
right now.
two little siblings?
Yeah, yeah. We're all 2 years apart.
You said your brother's a senior?
Yeah, well, he just graduated high school, going to college in August. Going to Brown,
Okay,
and then my sister, she's
right on.
going to her junior year of high school.
Okay. So you've been able to kind of, I guess how should I put this? Have you been able to kind of emotionally support them? Obviously, going through high school is a tough thing, and you and your brother are so close in age. Have you been able to kind of stay connected with him while he's in school there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they kind of saw what it was like for me to kind of get through high school, so I guess they're kind of using that as a baseline to kind of get through it as well. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, talking about kind of mental health, that's something that we talk about a lot here. I think that everybody at some point, whether it's in a big way or in a small way, struggles with mental health.
mm,
Do you feel like growing up, maybe due to other people assuming that you had some sort of setback, did you ever struggle with any sort of, depression or anxiety going to school, or just a general feeling of trying to be happy?
I wouldn't really call it depression, but yeah, definitely anxiety for sure. Like walking around in public and stuff. I'd always have my mom like stand to the right side of me and kind of like block off my arm whenever we were walking somewhere because I would always get glares and stares and like little kids pointing to their parents, whispering in the ears, etc.
Right.
And I mean, going to class sometimes. I remember when I was younger, it was like during the winter or whatever, we'd all have those big puffy jackets. I like wouldn't want to take mine off in class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember one time the teacher was like, "Hey, why don't you want to take it off?" And I was like, I tried to blame it on like me being cold, but like that obviously wasn't the reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So for at least a little bit there, it was kind of something that was still not fully comfortable for you?
yeah, yes, sir.
So at what point do you feel like, that, I guess, changed, or do you feel like that changed? Is it still kind of an anxiety-inducing thing to go out in public sometimes, or do you feel like that that's kind of in the past?
I'd say it's more so in the past, definitely for sure. Now, as I've matured and gotten older, I'm not really sure when the turning point was, but I mean, back in my hometown, like I knew all these people, grew up with these people for years, so I guess I kind of got used to it, and that kind of got me used to that as well.
Yeah, it is nice that you kind of grew up in a smaller town, so it was probably pretty quick that everybody, was able to be like, okay, we know, the situation and everybody knows him, and so I bet that it was easier for, to not feel like people were judging, even though, obviously as you just shared it was probably incredibly tough at times to fight those feelings, but
Yeah.
it sounds like your family, from talking to your mom, and like I said earlier, they've always kind of encouraged you to just kind of be just like everybody else.
Hmm.
I think that your mom said that sometimes when people would be looking, she would just say, "Don't mind them. God has eyes, or God gave them eyes. Let them look." And I
Hmm.
thought that that was a very unique thing for her to kind of take it off you and put it, back on them. Like that's
Yeah.
on them. If they're gonna stare, then they're gonna stare. God gave them eyes, but
Hmm.
um, I guess in kind of transition with that question, like, do you feel like I guess how pivotal do you feel like that encouragement from your parents was? Do you think like you were destined to just overcome this, or do you feel like without certain people or certain things that had happened, maybe things would have been differently as far as your career as a football player?
I would say my parents definitely helped in that a lot. They gave me a huge push. It's kind of helped me overcome that mental obstacle for sure, and the physical one as well. They're
Tell me
always
about
like,
your dad a little bit. Are you guys close?
yes, sir. Yeah, we're really tight. He helped me a lot with the physical football stuff, whereas my mom was more so like the everyday
Okay, is he
stuff.
the one who got you into football?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Gotcha. And because I'm an Ohio State guy, so we're a Big Ten family. Obviously, I think Northwestern goes back to
Yeah.
1898 when the Big Ten started, right? So they've got a little bit longer. But what teams did you watch growing up? What teams did your dad have you checking out growing up?
So we were more of like an NFL family. My dad, he grew up being a Cowboys
Oh,
fan, so
okay,
we watched a lot of those Cowboys games. But me personally,
right on.
he pointed me towards Drew Brees because he thought Drew Brees was a great quarterback. So I started like the Saints, and they've been my team ever since.
So then tell me about that moment when you got the jersey.
Yeah,
Because I read an article
yeah,
about how Drew Brees sent you a signed and a little noted
yeah.
jersey. Tell me about that moment to get something that special from one of your heroes.
That was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it was like a random summer day a couple years ago. My parents just come in with a box. My dad has his camera out. I'm like, what? And then he kind of just pulled out the jersey, and I was like, whoa. I was in total shock. Not gonna lie. I was so surprised. It was crazy. Great moment.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a great moment, man.
So where's that jersey at now? You keep it at school or you keep it at home?
Nah, it's framed in my bedroom at home. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
Got to keep it at home,
yeah.
right?
That's what I'm saying.
So tell me about college life a little bit. Obviously, being at a Big Ten school, you can't deny. I'm sure there's probably definitely parties going on around, but being
Hmm.
a Division I athlete, you have to kind of probably say no to a lot of things and watch yourself on a lot of things because obviously college it will try to suck you in and get you partying and drinking and smoking and that's where a lot of kids are introduced to a lot of stuff, or even if they're not introduced, it's very much in your face. So what do you kind of do to, I guess, help in that regard? How do you stay out of trouble? Because college can be tough for some people.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just stay focused and stay locked in. Like, I used to be, me and my teammates, we used to go out a decent amount, like a couple years, like when I first got here. You know what I mean? But ever since I've kind of shied away from that because, like, I'm here for the end product. You know what I mean? I'm not here for the fun in the present. I wanna I wanna keep working until
Absolutely.
I get to the goal that I wanna achieve, which I'm not even close to yet. You know what I mean? So I just keep thinking about
Yeah.
that.
So talk to me about this upcoming football season. How important is this to you? Because this will be your first full season playing, right?
Last year actually was, but I was like kind of in a brace, so it kind of didn't really feel as, you know, unique or normal. You know what I mean? I'd say this year is definitely important.
Gotcha. So this year you're kind of back to 100%.
Yes, sir. I would say so. Uh-huh. Yeah. I would say
Excellent.
I would say this year is definitely very important for me. I would definitely trying to find a role on the team for sure, whether that's running back or some sort of special teams role. Anything that can get me out in the field to help the team would be awesome.
Yeah, I think that man, just watching you, I when I was first told the kind of your story, I was like, maybe he's a defensive or offensive lineman,
Yeah,
maybe he's, but to see you handle the ball the way that you handled the ball was pretty amazing. And so,
yes,
yeah,
sir.
I would definitely love to see you out there playing some running back this
That'd be
season.
awesome.
So I'm definitely excited to kind of keep an eye on things and see how things go.
Yes, sir. That'd be awesome, man.
So, kind of jumping back into like the mental health side of things, can you kind of walk me through what's your day to day? Is there anything that you do? You talk about staying locked in. You talk about, remembering where you're at. Is there anything you do on a day to day basis? Like, what are we doing when we get up? Do you do cold plunges? Do you do, is there a certain, diet that you stick to that helps you stay focused?
Hmm.
I'm just kind of curious on, where that mentality starts and ends during the day.
Hmm. So I'd say, I mean, I like to get up early before the workouts and kind of get to the weight room pretty early, get to the locker room early, like be one of the first ones in the building type of deal. I like to get up in the weight room at least 30 to 45 minutes before like workouts start so I can, fully stretch, roll out, Theragun my body, all that, feel 100%. And I guess for,
Clear your mind a little bit.
yeah, kind of just sit there. We have a nice view out our weight room. It's kind of like Lake Michigan and stuff, so you can kind of see the sun rise off the lake. So I kind of look at that a little bit. And as for diet goes, I like to stay really healthy with it. I'm trying to cut my body fat percentage all the way low, trying to get faster. So every time I'm eating something or getting ready to prepare to eat something, I'm always thinking about like what can I do to get my body faster, straight up. So anything that helps,
Gotcha.
yes, sir.
So I feel like I know going from high school basketball to college basketball, I was flabbergasted by the amount of difference there was in not just the size, but also the speed of guys. It's
Yeah,
crazy going from high school to college.
yep,
Everybody is so fast and the stamina is crazy. Have you
yep.
found yourself kind of having trouble keeping up with those maybe senior, junior guys?
I would say speed wise a little bit, yeah, but stamina, no, not really, because I've always honed in on like making sure that I was able to withstand a bunch of conditioning, so yeah.
Okay. Are you a cross country guy? Do you do a lot of running?
Not really, not gonna lie. No, no, sir.
No, I was gonna say I could never do the running, man.
No,
I
it's
liked
too
I
much.
liked playing ball. I'll do, ladders or hill sprints
That's what I'm
even, but
saying.
like when you want me to go on a 5 mile run, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, man. Hmm.
But no, that it sounds like I mean, pretty much what you would expect out of a, Division 1 athlete,
Of
just
course.
getting up early as crap to go work out, right?
Yeah.
And probably just I remember doing, yeah, after class in the afternoon doing workouts or runs and
Hmm.
yeah, hill sprints. What's like the most intense, I guess like the craziest workout that you've done, something that you didn't think that you'd be doing?
So every Friday we in the off seasons, like right now, we have like conditioning stations. So we you kind of just go against the dude for a bunch of stations or whatever, and they tire you out. But then right after the stations, we get into conditioning, and that's when that's the kicker, So we do a bunch of half gassers and
So it's
sixes,
like two conditioning sessions back to back.
basically, yeah. And then you go into heavy leg day with heavy squats. So it's like a 1, 2, 3 punch type of deal. Yeah.
Do you see a lot of guys throwing up towards the end of the day?
Sometimes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Because
sir.
that was like something you always see that in movies, right? People run until they
Yeah,
throw up or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, I bet a lot of those guys are just used to it at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right, so I have kind of an interesting question for you. This is something that my wife brought up.
Hmm.
She was wondering if you kind of have any, or if you feel like you have any advantage, because of what you've had to come overcome, going through middle school and high school. Do you feel like that gave you any type of advantage on the field?
Oh, 100%. I would say, for example, when we're doing these like conditioning things, you know what I mean? I feel like I have a really, really good sense of toughness, mental toughness, to the point where I feel like I could push myself a little bit farther than maybe some other dudes can. And I think that stems back from my early days with dealing with all my like arm situations and stuff. So I'd say I definitely have a leg up on that
Oh,
career.
yeah, I'm sure that the mental toughness that you built just having to, continue to do what you did every day in middle school, like, I can't imagine, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. I remember doing hill sprints in college behind the gymnasium one year, and they're like, "This is just I'm very or was very mentally weak." I would get to that point where I would feel like I needed to quit, and I would just quit. Like
Yeah.
I would just call it or whatever. And I feel like that's a great example. Like a lot of it is just mentally pushing yourself because your body can usually take a whole lot more, but you have to be able to mentally
Hmm.
push yourself to do that. So that makes a lot of sense that it kind of has transferred, even though, obviously what you went through in middle school is a lot different than a workout in college. The same kind of principles can be applied. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I had another question kind of along the same lines, but reversed, I guess. What kind of like life lessons, core values, what things do you feel like you carry with you that you've learned? Because like obviously you talked about mental toughness. Is there anything else that you feel like you carry with you on a daily basis because of what you've had to overcome?
I would say grit, passion, and I guess just energy. You know what I mean? I mean, passion and energy kind of go hand in hand, but every day I show up to the building, I feel like I give it 110%, and I do so with a smile on my face because I love what I do every day. And even when times get hard, workouts get tough, I feel like that kind of transforms into the grit that I can also bring to the table.
Heck yeah.
That's true.
Well, man, I gotta say it's been interesting kind of getting to know your mentality. Um, let's see here, where are we at? Yeah, so the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about before we kind of wrap things up,
Hmm.
um, talking about kind of your future. I know that you're a medical engineer major, correct?
Mechanical engineer.
Um, sorry, mechanical
Yeah.
engineer major. That's right.
Yeah.
And kind of what are you looking to do with that in the future? Can you tell us about maybe what you might be doing after college if you don't make it to the NFL?
Yeah. I mean, I would like to create prosthetic devices for athletes and kind of help. Yeah, that's basically it. You know what I mean? Just help them because I have,
Prosthetics for athletes.
yeah, because I have one myself and it's not, I mean, it's great, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it breaks and I can't use it in specific ways. You know what I mean? So I'd like to kind of adapt
I
that.
was gonna say your mom had mentioned growing up, you kind of had not really cared for using prosthetics. Was that because you felt like it just didn't work the way you felt like it should have worked?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really feel like me. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't my body physically doing it. It was like an attachment. So I feel like it wasn't always beneficial, and I felt like just wearing one around regularly wouldn't it would make me even more different from my peers. You know what I mean? I so
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah, definitely. So kinda you're looking to, uh, patch that hole a little bit for athletes.
yeah, sure, that'd be awesome.
That's really cool, man. And so tell me about, um, kind of is that passion been a long-standing thing? Is that something that you've known you wanted to do? Or is that kinda something that has been a recent, like, I think that I would really like to, give back in this way, and since I'm at college getting a degree anyways.
Hmm. I mean, I think it kind of sprouted from when I was like senior year of high school. Honestly, I mean, my dad was an engineer or is an engineer, so he always told us about how it was and how it went, or whatever. And I mean, yeah, I guess it just went together. Prosthetics, like I have one, and also my dad's an engineer, so it kind of just went together. And I was like, that'd be kind of interesting to do if football doesn't work out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's great, man. I think that we got a pretty good idea of kind of who you are, and it's been interesting kind of getting to know your mentality. I got to ask you one more fun question before you get out of here,
Yes,
though,
sir.
man. What's your cheat day food? What's your cheat day snack? What are you splurging on? Is it ice cream? Are we eating a bunch of pizza? What are the boys getting on Friday night?
Man, I would say definitely buffalo wings. I don't know if you consider that a cheat meal,
Wings?
but
How did I
man,
know you were going to
I
say
love
that,
wings,
man?
man.
I
So
love
good,
buffalo wings.
so good.
Blue cheese or ranch?
Uh, I'm going ranch. I have to. On a burger, I'll go blue
I'm a blue
cheese.
cheese guy,
On a
man.
burger, I'll go blue cheese crumble.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
wings, I mean, you know what I mean? The
Yep,
celery, the wings, I like the ranch. Yeah. Yes, sir.
gotta go with the ranch. Right on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Albert, is there anything else from your life, any experience that you've had that you kind of wanted to share with us? I mean, obviously, like we talked about, we're all about kind of inspiring that next generation of kids who are looking up to people like us. We often think that kids are always looking up to, the 40-year-old superstars or
Yeah.
athletes or the NBA players, but a lot of times they're looking up to the guys who, are in high school when they were in middle school.
True.
And so is there anything that you want to share with the people, maybe even in your hometown, um, that you'd want them to hear from you?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, no matter where you come from, no matter how you're built, who you are, what your family looks like, whatever, I guess just keep pushing and do what you think you can do because you can't be stopped if you keep on going, you know what I mean? And you just keep on perfecting that craft that you love. It'll be really hard to stop you. That's basically it.
Absolutely. And you're living proof, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much again for letting us take up some of your busy
Yes,
time.
sir.
We're looking forward to seeing you this
Yes,
season.
sir.
And we hope you take care, man.
Appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Just wanted to thank Albert one more time for taking time out of his schedule to chat with us and kind of answer some of our questions. We appreciate him. We appreciate being able to connect with his mother, who kind of helped get us in connection with him. And so, thank you to the whole Kunickis family, and thank you, Albert, just for being the person that you are, for being an inspiration to other athletes, to being an inspiration to just anybody who hears your story. I doubt there's anybody who can hear about you and not feel inspired. So we appreciate you. Again, guys, if you like the content we're putting up, visit our website, www.mwa.net. We appreciate you. We love you guys, and we'll see you soon.